Right, so we're going to look at this turbine mount here. You can see it's got a lot of dimensions going on, but we'll just build it from these centerline points that we can find there, and it should work out fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw these 2 feet 500 apart, and I'm going to draw a line that I can mirror things on. So let's just go into a new standard part, start a sketch on the XY plane there. I'm going to do a construction line straight up and down on that, and I'm going to constrain the center of that to origin point there. Now I'm dimension this at 120 because that's the width of the foot, and now I will just draw a rough outline of the shape of the foot here. Just make sure the points are connected, so that's still in construction, so I'll just take it out of that. And let's go do some constraints here. So we want to do end to end there. Want to make sure all these are tangent to the lines here. Some of them may already be tangent, so it would say constraint not needed, or come up that warning already exists. So I'll just go around. I'm just going to make sure they're all there. And last one, yep, so they're all there. Now we'll be in construction line. I'm just going to draw a line between these 2 points and a line from the center of that one down to this one. Now we'll just throw a few constraints on there, make this horizontal, make all these equal here. So that should be all equal around there. And I will also constrain horizontally the center of this foot there to the horizontal plane. Yeah, look at the dimensions there. So we've got 120 by 100, but mainly we're looking at that 96 by 76 with a 12mm radius. So let's do that. And we know they're 500 apart, so let's just do this 250 to the center. Now we want to put our holes in it, so let's have a look. Size of the holes, 10mm holes, and 4mm plate. So let's just do some of the holes first. I'll take it out of construction. 10. So I'm just going to drop them there, and then I'm going to make sure they're equal with the first one. I can see these 2 aren't constrained, so they must be movable somehow. Let's have a look. So I'm not really sure what's the matter with those ones, but let's go auto dimension, see what happens. So I just needed a concentric constraint for there, so that's all good. So now we've got 1 foot, so let's just go finish sketch on that. And what I think is going on here is I think these are overall dimensions. So I think the 4mm will be going upwards from here. So that's what I'll do. I'll do extrusion of that at 4mm. Yep. So I'll go mirror. That thing, mirror plane, find the plane that's in between them. Okay, so there we have the 2 feet. So now what I'm going to look at doing is put in this back, this bit of tube here at the back, so I can see it's 360 off the back of that foot and 350 high. So what I'll do for that one is I'll turn this around a bit and I'll start a sketch on the plane that's going between the two. What I can do here is just draw, all I really need is a point. So if I draw a point over here somewhere, I'll dimension that back edge 360 and 350. Now we have that point where the bottom of that pipe will be going. So I'll finish that sketch there. And I'll do a plane normal to axis through point. So I'll grab that point and it'll be normal to that axis there, dead axis. So now we've got the position of that bottom of that pipe there. Now what I can do is I can start a sketch on this one here. And I'll need to project that point onto it. So project geometry, point there, the circle, this pipe is 50.8 OD. And it's a 3mm wall, so I'll just do an offset for that. A3. Now I'll go to finish sketch. And if we have a look at the picture again, it's 150 high, this pipe. So let's go back to that, and I'll do an extrusion of 150 upwards. 150. Okay, so there we go, we have that pipe there. And now I can turn off this work plane and this axis, don't need to see that, and the sketch, that one there. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, you can see we've got a 45-degree angle here from the center of that pipe that's going up there. So I'm going to build a work plane. I'm going to come back and I'm going to start a sketch on this foot, and I'm going to draw a line here to here, and I should be able to constrain this to the origin here, because the way we drew it, the center of the foot was at the origin, and just type in 500. It's an easy way to do it. Plus, I'll grab that and I'll make a construction because I don't need it to be a full line there. Now we can go angle to plane around edge. I'll select that edge, select that face, type in 45, make sure it's going the right way. Okay. And now we have a work plane there. And another thing I want to do is I want to put an axis in this piece and a point. So grab a point, I'll grab the plane and the axis. That should put a point where those two meet. Need a point on the end there and a point on the end here. Right, now we can do a new sketch on this work plane here. And go back to construction, project those points as well. So that one there, and I might have to turn this around a little bit to get back on it. That one there again. Now I'm just going to click on that to straighten it up again. What I can do here is go right click, escape out of that, right click, slice the graphics, see our 3 points there. So now we'll draw a line up there, and to that point. We'll go back down to this point and point there. What we want to do is make sure these are equal. You can see that's governing the length. So I've just assumed that these point to the center of this pipe, just because the dimensions they've given us are just so weird. So that's my best assumption there. What I can also do here is I will do a bit of an offset of half of 38, so we'll do 19, that's the thickness of the tube. And with that, I'm going to draw in that center bracket. So this bracket sits in here as 100 above the crease and 100 below. So if I just have a quick look at that one. So there you go, it's 200 long, 100 to that inside there. So get out a construction line, draw a line to this one, that one to that one, that one to that one, and I'll dimension that to that at 100, and that to that, and overall we're 200, sorry. That's the size of our bracket, so I'll just fill that in a bit. Like this. Now we've got to look at our circles. So it says they're evenly spaced. So I've just done a bit of maths to work it out. I think that's like a third, a third, a third, and then it's like divided by a 6 along that way. So I've already calculated that, save a bit of time in the video. So I'm just going to drop in a bunch of circles. Oh, what I'll do first is I'll make sure that they're horizontal to the ones I want to be horizontal. So those two horizontal to each other. These 5. So you have to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. Make sure they're all equal. And we have a dimension of 45 for that size of that hole anyway, so I might as well put that in to 1 now. And what I need to do is I can draw a line, construction line, and I can draw it between these two, between these two, between these two, there, 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 and there. And I'll draw one between these two as well. Now what I can do is I can go equal, so we can make these spacing equal, so we can use these construction lines as a kind of a guide here. And I'll also vertically constrain it, center of that to the origin there. And I'll make sure the same, that line there, that one to that one. And I just forgot 2 lines, so I'll just put that in there. That to where it meets this, and that to where it meets this side. So one of the dimensions I worked out before is between these two we want to be at 74.2. So it's a bit of a rounding as to what a third of it is. I'll put a line in between these two as well. And I'll just make sure that we're horizontally constrained to that corner there. So they should be even either way. Now this one, I want to just do equal spacing for each line. So I'll do equal to that, to that, that, to that. Doesn't need it. It's already figured that out. And this one, all I need to do is put a dimension in here, and that works out to be 84.5. So there's your spacing, and that looks right to me from the drawing, and it's not really specific about exactly what it means there. It just says 7 places even spacing. So to me, that looks like what it's supposed to look like. So I'm quite happy with it like that. Next thing I want to do is just throw a couple more construction lines in here. I'm going to need them for creating planes. So I'll do one to that point to that point, and one that point to that point. And I'll also do some lines off this one at the 45, like that. And the reason for that will become obvious soon. Go finish sketch. Now, this is look at the drawing, it's a 3mm plate. So I'm just going to extrude this piece both ways, and it's only 3mm, so I'll type in 3. And yep, make sure it's going both ways again. So that's 3 overall. Now what I need to do is turn this sketch back on. I'm going to need it to create some planes here. Now this is where it's going to get a little confusing, but we'll see how we go. So plane, angle to plane around edge. So I want one here, 90. Same thing again. Okay. And same thing over here, and I'll turn them off in a minute, the ones I'm not using, just to clarify it. So right, so we've got a lot of planes there, so you can see where they're going through, hopefully. Just come out of view for that, see if you can get a better view of it. They're going through those points. So I need them to draw my circles and finish the extrusions on. So now I'll just turn a few off just to make it a bit easier to see. I'll leave that one on, that one off. I'll leave those two on actually. And I'll turn off this main plane that I'm drawing on at the moment. Work plane 2. And also don't need this axis on at the moment either. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a sketch along the bottom here, just because it's easier than creating a new plane. So I draw a sketch on that bottom face, and I'm going to have to go right click and slice the graphics so I can see what I'm doing. I'm also going to rotate it a little bit just to make sure I'm projecting these lines, that line there, that line there. Bring it back into view. And now I can do my outer tube, which is 38 OD. Same here, 38. And it's a 3mm wall as well, so let's offset that by 3. And 3. So I'll go to finish sketch there. So you can see we've got the tube going on. So what I can do now is I can go to extrude, and I'm going to have to do the shape, and I'm going to go to this top of this foot. Okay, so now what it's going to do is it's going to disappear that sketch because I've used it. So I need to bring that back, turn it back on until I don't need it anymore, and do the other side, the same thing, extrude, make sure you only highlight the outside of it, to foot there. Now we can turn it around a little bit and extrude this to plane like that, and same on the other side. Now you can mirror this. Sometimes mirror doesn't work so well with some things that are a bit complicated, so I've just decided to do it all without mirroring it. So there we go, there's those two planes there, those two parts there. I can turn that sketch off now, which was this one. And I can also turn these planes off. So I'll turn that off and turn that off. Now I want to turn these top two back on. So it was that one there and that one there. And I'm going to go start sketch on this one. Go right click, slice the graphics again. And I'm just going to rotate a little bit so I can see that line coming through, and I'll project that. And I'll do a circle, 38 again. Set that 3mm. So we have one tube. So let's extrude that. Grab the outside shape again. And go the to function over here again. That meets up there. And our sketch is going to disappear again because we just used it. So we need to hover over here and just turn it back on. And we'll do extrude of this part to this cylinder. So that'll actually finish it off with the cylinder with a nice rounded edge. And I can now turn that sketch off. And I can also turn that plane off that I'm not using, which is that one there. Now, same thing again, so I'll start a sketch on this one. Right click, slice the graphics. I'll rotate a little bit so I can see this line here. Project that. Gives me a little center point there. A circle on that. 38. Offset. 3. Finish that sketch. And now I'll just turn this plane off so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. And I'll turn off these points as well. And we can even turn off that sketch. So this big sketch here is highlighted here. And we'll turn off that one down the bottom as well. Don't need that. Right, so we'll just extrude this one down. Or it doesn't matter what way we start. We'll go that one and then to this pipe again. There you go, intersects the pipe. And we'll have to turn that sketch back on, which is under here. Turn it back on and extrude to base of this bit. Now I can turn that sketch off. And we'll just hop around here, have a look at it. So that's the piece there. The only other thing you might want to do is just go into your, just collapse these bits and tidy it up. So now just go into my properties, and it says it's 6351 T6 aluminium, so we probably won't have that specific grade there, but we can find aluminium, and that'll just give us a better idea of how much it's going to weigh and everything. And see, it all shows up here, and that's the part. So save it. Turbine mount, done.